I'm pretty sure that there are no old-school Resident Evil fans who don't know what Resident Evil Outbreak is.
Biohazard. Outbreak.
This co-op survival experience was released more than 20 years ago as a PlayStation 2 exclusive, and that's exactly why I never got to play it the way it was originally intended, on Capcom's official servers. Back then, I only had the first PlayStation and an old PC, but somehow that PC managed to emulate Outbreak file 2 at around 15-20 FPS. And even in that state I still nearly finished a couple of scenarios, so yeah, you can imagine how strong my desire to play this game really was.
Thank you.
The music in this game is amazing. Just look how perfectly it fits the cinematic opening cutscene, where we witness dramatic events unfold in infected Raccoon City, but from the perspective of a rat, and rats are actually an important part of Resident Evil lore. Resident Evil Outbreak was designed to be played in co-op with up to 4 players. If you play it solo, like me, the missing teammates were replaced with AI. In my case, well, usually only one teammate will stick around, the others doing whatever they wanted. And sooner or later I would just find their dead bodies somewhere in the level. With the recent rise of co-op survival games, I started to hope maybe Capcom would finally bring Outbreak back. So I waited and waited and waited. At one point, I even felt a spark of hope when I saw Resident Evil Resistance, but that hope quickly disappeared when it turned out to be basically another Dead by Daylight clone.
Spread out.
Run!
On my way.
Get in the car. I'm admitting. I need help.
And then, eventually I discovered a game on Steam called Whisper Mountain Outbreak. My first thought, yes, this is it. Finally, someone did what Capcom couldn't for all these years. A co-op survival game, different locations, monsters including our beloved zombies, puzzles, and full co-op for up to 4 players. Sounds like a dream, right? To me, this feels like the closest thing to Resident Evil Outbreak that we can get today. And the best part? It costs only around 6 euros. Plus, it has a friend pass, so your friends can join you without even buying the game. So, if you have been missing Outbreak like I have, this might be exactly what you have been waiting for. It's even called Outbreak, so the developers aren't even trying to hide their inspiration. Honestly, I have no idea why the Resident Evil community is still sleeping on this game. The story of Whisper Mountain Outbreak has nothing to do with viruses or biohazards. Instead, the events revolve around a fictional sacred mountain called Bizik, a place that cures anyone brave enough to enter it. So your main goal is simple: escape this living hell while you still can. At the beginning, the game offers you a choice between 3 different classes. In total there are 6 classes, but which 3 you get is completely random. So yeah, sometimes I actually had to restart the game just to get the class I wanted. Each class has its own strengths and weaknesses. For example, the bodybuilder starts with higher maximum health but lower stamina. The firefighter begins with an axe instead of standard baseball bat, but his firearm accuracy is absolutely terrible, and when I say terrible, I mean minus 150%. The security guard deals more melee damage but moves slower. And the sprinter has increased speed and stamina regeneration but much lower health. If you enjoy the story content the same way I do, you should definitely check out the official comics. There are 6 episodes in total, 1 for each class, and you can easily find them in Steam community. At the start, Every character has one healing herb in their inventory and another one in storage. You can combine up to 3 herbs together, just like in Resident Evil. Inventory management is pretty challenging at the beginning, since you only have 4 slots. But don't worry, you can expand it later through upgrades. You can also upgrade your health, stamina, and weapons. The game features a simple but effective crafting system. You can create medkits, explosives, ammo, and weapon upgrades. Crafting resources include clothes, chemicals, scrap, and gunpowder. You will find them by exploring levels or receive them as rewards of the successful missions. Unwanted weapons and items can be dismantled into crafting materials, which is actually really useful. After successfully completing missions, you earn skill points. This can be invested in 3 types of reading materials: military book, martial art guide, and fitness and health magazine. Each one offers different bonuses. You just read description and choose what fits your playstyle best. Every category contains 3 skills, so in total there are 9 skills you can unlock, and they make a huge difference when it comes to surviving. By the late game, you will probably have almost everything upgraded. There is also character customization. Right now it's pretty basic, but the full release promises a lot more cosmetic options. To start a mission, you simply go to the table and choose a destination on the map. Each map has its own objective. For example, extraction missions, where you grab a container and escape as fast as possible, because the moment you pick it up, an endless enemy horde begins. And speaking of enemy hordes, they will attack you periodically anyway, so staying too long in one area is usually a bad idea. Another mission type is survival, where you just need to stay alive until the timer runs out. If your teammate goes down, you can revive them, and even restore their health in the process. In addition to the main objective, maps also include optional rooms and puzzles. This can reward you with valuable loot before heading back to base, if you still have some free inventory slots for it, of course. There are also map modifiers, like cursed items, poisoning or explosive enemies, or even disabling healing from items completely. And one of my favorite little details in this game, stray cats. You can actually pet them and they will even follow you for a while, but loud gunshots will scare them away almost instantly. It's a small feature that doesn't really make much sense, but it adds a surprising amount of charm to the atmosphere. Another thing I really enjoyed is the puzzles. They're simple, but they remind me a lot of classic Resident Evil. Sometimes you will need to read notes to figure out the solution, but nothing is overly complicated. And honestly, I'm not even complaining. Trying to solve hardcore puzzles while being chased by enemy hordes would probably just get me killed. And finally, the atmosphere. I absolutely love it. The pixel art style combined with brutal and bloody scenes creates a really unique vibe. It generally feels like a game from the 90s in the best possible way, very similar to the classic Resident Evil titles, but keep in mind, this is still early access. That means there are issues with difficulty balance, a lack of content, and not much story, at least for now. The game is also a roguelike, so when you die, you lose almost everything. No weapons, no materials, no items, basically nothing, except for the upgrades you have already unlocked. And if you lose all 3 attempts, there is a chance that even your upgrade progress gets reset. That's exactly why I usually stop playing after my first death. Losing all that hard-earned progress just doesn't feel great, a truly frustrating experience. And trust me, dying in Whisper Mountain is something you will be doing a lot. At least that's how it goes for me. One thing that really bothers me, you can't share crafting resources with your teammates, even in the main lobby. In my opinion, that's something that definitely needs to be changed in future updates. Playing a melee-focused class often feels like a suicide mission, but sometimes you don't really have a choice, especially when you're constantly running low on ammo. Still, I decided to buy this game not because of what it is today, but because of what it could become with enough community support. For the current price, the amount of content feels fair, but I really hope that in the future Whisper Mountain grows into a game I can recommend to everyone without a single doubt. Thank you for watching and see you next time!